How's the serenity? The foggy, smoggy serenity. G'day everyone, Stephen's your resident game engineer here, and I am here with I was going to say a very special video, but that's a bit misleading, but just a video after a very long hiatus, I guess you could say, on Satisfactory. So the basic rundown is that anyone who's unfamiliar with Satisfactory by Coffee Stain Games, they ran an application system for alpha keys. It was a closed alpha, full NDAs, no streaming, no videos, no nothing. Now, I was unfortunately not quite lucky enough to get one of those keys. However, Coffee Stain are a bunch of great blokes, and they decided to do a full closed alpha weekend. So everyone who applied for a key got a key for 72 hours. Now they said there was just under 300,000 applicants for that. That's a lot of applicants. That's a lot of keys. Now after those 3 days, the keys will be revoked unless you are already part of the closed alpha. They'll continue playing, but my key will be revoked. But they're really good because they've announced full early access release. Oh, that's a bit of a contradiction in terms, but anyways, an early access release on March 19th. So only a few days away, about a week away. Wait, what's the date today? Today is the 11th, I think. Yeah, something like that. Sounds about right. So a week away, basically. 8 days. Yeah, and you can pre-purchase that. It's an Epic Store exclusive, so sorry if you're a Steam fanatic. But, you know, nothing wrong with that. So I've managed to do some stuff, basically. This was mostly today and yesterday. I didn't have a chance to do much the first however long it was, 24-ish hours. Didn't have a chance to do anything then, but I did have a friend, good old Ricky Summer, link below in description, who also did an application for an alpha key and also got a key for this weekend because, as I said, everybody got one. So we had a bit of shenanigans, and I'll show you the remnants of, well, actually you can see a lot of the remnants of that right now, but I'll show you the final bit a little later, and I'll show you a close-up soon. It's a little different to what Ricky saw, so I'm wondering if he'll notice a difference straight away. If he watches this, that is. Now, it's pretty... I was going to say it's pretty full-on, but it's a weird mix of yes and no. Yes it is and no it isn't. And I'll get to that, what I mean, very soon. Now, if I go to the escape menu, you can see here time played 10 hours and 8 minutes, and I believe I have done pretty much everything that they released for this weekend. Now, they limited it significantly. I've only got access to, well, everyone who had a key has only got, hey, look at my automatic truck going for a drive around there. They pretty dramatically limited the amount of research you can do, so that dramatically limits the amount of building and parts you get access to, which makes sense. You know, you don't want to go all out from the get-go. You know, it makes sense to limit it a little bit considering just the amount of play they were going to get this weekend. I can guarantee that the 300,000-ish keys that went out, at least 90% of people, I reckon, would have actually gone to the effort to play. I'd be surprised if it's less. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown of what I've done. And there was one aspect that I believe good old Ricky Summer was unable to get working that I did, so I will show you that, and maybe he'll see it himself when he watches, if he watches. And there was one other thing that I'm not sure how many people would have gotten. It depends on how much of a completionist they are, I suppose. Now, these towers are devilishly difficult to use at times. These ladders, I've fallen from that height a number of times. and it's quite uncomfortable. You can't use the ladders to catch yourself. So this is copper ore going into a smelter, going into a constructor, and going into a storage container. Now there are other things you make from copper, but this was the only thing I found that I had to automate. So I'm not going to go into too many nitty-gritty details. There's a fair chunk of stuff here, and to go into nitty-gritty details will be a lot of effort. Let's just say that. But I'll give you a quick rundown of what's happened. I'll give you an idea into the crafting, the manual crafting stuff. It's pretty cool. I'll show you the research window because that's what, as I said, there's a little secret thing there that I don't know how many people would have found. As I said, it depends on how much of a completionist they are, whatever. So this is by no means an efficient factory. It is not even close to it, let's be honest. I have made some improvements over the last couple hours where I think I've made it more efficient, but that could just be because I had a backup in other areas, but I'll get to that soon. So anyone who has played Factorio, they'll be familiar with the whole production line assembly idea in a game and maximizing your efficiency and all that sort of stuff. In Satisfactory, at least in this 72-hour playing window, that went out the door. I just wanted to get as much done as I could quickly so I could maximize my exposure to the game and figuring things out. Also, straight conveyor belts are a very difficult thing to do in this game. Doesn't worry me so much, especially for like an introductory type thing, but yes, it's not easy to do. So you first fall out of the space, fall out of the sky, whatever, in a little deployment capsule, I guess you could say. Then you're told to dismantle it, find some iron, and then make this bloke here, the hub. I don't remember what it stands for. I think it was like Humanitarian Unit Base or something like that. HUB, hub. I'm very wrong on that, I know that, but oh well, doesn't matter. And you go in here, and this is where you upgrade it. So it starts off very, very basic. It's basically just a skeleton. Simple enough research, but then the more you research, the more this upgrades, the more access you get to things and tools. This is your tool workbench, so if I go in here, you get all that stuff. The more perceptive of you might have noticed something. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. The main aim, the main tutorial system is getting this upgraded to maximum hub level. Actually, it's one less than that. They actually don't tutorialize the last bit to see if you can actually do it on your own, which I think is a nice touch. Makes sense. You don't want to be babied through the whole time. This is a splitter. And yeah, it ends up looking like this. Now, I've done all the research, as I said, but when you press the research button, that's a power pole. This sort of small satellite looking thing that flies up into the air and then returns. So it's a nice little visual gimmick, I guess you could say, to what's the word I'm looking for? Not visualize, to represent your researching level finishing. So that's pretty cool. Of course, you got your basic smelters for your raw ore, and then they turn into ingots over here, and they're on a conveyor belt, and then we split them out, and then they go into constructors, which makes a single item into a different single item. I swear I can talk normally. And then you got things like an assembler. I think, no, it's not called an assembler. That's Factorio, I think. Oh no, it is an assembler. There you go. And I can't make it because I don't have enough cable. But yeah, you can make more complicated things in an assembler. I don't know if that upgrades. That might be a later level of tech that you get to. This is one of the constructors. That there is a miner. See? And yeah, and you build up your power. You really gotta monitor your power in this game. That's something I definitely noticed. It's actually kind of cool in a way, because I will show you what happens here. I'll go over to my coal generators, which if someone hasn't... Oh, I can't because I've automatically done it. Oh, I know how I'll do it. I'll do that. Now... Really? What's going on there? Wow. Okay, we're not pulling anywhere near as much as we were. Okay, well that has no power now. Ah, okay, here we go. Yeah. So, with your power management, as soon as you're... So you go into here. This is a cool graphic. I really like this aspect of it. Actually, I'll go in here first. No, can't do that. I need to do this first. I'm still getting the hang of the controls. Bear with me. Now, normally, once you reconnect something, you would expect it to work. But nope, not here. So I'll show you here. I've got a really nice little graph here. Now, I would like the graph if it had actual numbers as opposed to just a visual representation of what's going on. So you got your thin line here, which is your capacity for power production. You got the orange line, which is your consumption, and then you got the dark grey line, which is your production. It's all laid out right there. I just realised I didn't have to explain all that, but I thought I would anyway. You can see how here the consumption jumps ever so slightly above your capacity, and it shuts down your entire power grid on this particular grid. So if you've got 3 or 4 separate power grids, whichever one trips is the one that'll shut down. Now, in order to fix that, you actually have to manually reset the fuse. I really like that. So you click on it, grab it, pull it down, fuse OK, and smack. So now you can see my capacity's jumped up to here, and my production and consumption is well underneath all of that. So it's all good. I really like that little touch. That's cool. It's a nice little tactile feel to fixing a problem. But power management can be a bit of a pain until you research the automatic power generation. I'll get into that a little bit later. But initially you got biomass burners, which is cool, nice clean energy. They're built into your hub, and then a little bit later on you get a recipe / blueprint to make one. Here's a biomass burner. So that's, I was going to say portable, but it's not really portable. You can just make it and place it wherever you want in the world. It's really cool. Nice clean energy, but you got to manually make biofuel. Now you have a choice. You can either, that's the wrong thing, I didn't want to go into that. I may not have any raw ingredients. No, I don't. Oh, I do, but you just can't really see it. This is what I'll do. So these are leaves. If I throw them in here, they come out of the storage container. They go along the conveyor belt and into the constructor. Now I think I've already got it set up on the right thing. It'll wait for 10 leaves to go in. And only one leaves. One leaf leaves. No. This is not Thunderdome. There you go, it's doing its thing. And then on the other side, you can climb over and jump between your things as well. It's really cool. This is biomass. And then biomass goes into this constructor. And on the other side, you get biofuel. Now all 3 of those things, the raw leaves or wood, depending on what you prefer, the biomass and the biofuel can be thrown into a biomass burner. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking over the screen all the time. I use my mouse to point, and it's really bad in a jumpy game. Yeah, so you can use all 3 in a biomass burner. Now, your biomass is okay. No, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Your raw leaves and your raw wood, things like that, they're okay. Oh, apparently spacebar closes windows too. Your biomass is better, but your biofuel is the most efficient use of your resources. I don't know by how much. I haven't sat down to do the numbers because I just haven't had time nor the inclination for this particular weekend. The fact that I got this much done is crazy. That was some MP help from good old Rick. But anyways. Yeah, so that's all really cool. I like that. You need to be more conscious of your power production. You can't just automate it from the get-go, which I don't mind. It makes you have to think about it a little more. It makes you think about your layout a little bit more too, I think. Now the layout, don't get me wrong, is not simple to do. They said to pack up your capsule and build your hub next to some iron. So I did that. I found two nodes right next to each other. I put a miner on each, and then I set up my hub. I didn't know how much room I was going to need. Clearly I needed a lot more room than I thought. But that's okay. I managed to fit it all in, so that's cool. So it's pretty standard sort of factory game stuff. Your miner takes the ore goes on a conveyor belt. Here I've split it out, and then one goes to a smelter over there and one goes to a smelter over there. Right there, actually. Now, that's for a couple of reasons. Let's just say I need different things made in different areas. Simple. That's a simple answer. The easiest way to explain it, I should say. After iron, you get access to copper. My copper is all the way over there. I really like the power poles because it seems that the cable can almost infinitely stretch. It took a very long time to tell me, hey, cable is too long, you require a power pole. I really liked that, but hey, that could just be me. I really want to meet that bloke too, but that's a different thing for later on in the video. You find these little plants. I don't know if they eventually grow back or respawn on the raw plant, but these are little pale berries, I think they're called. They heal you a little bit. There are other little nuts that heal you. You find them all in the world. It's nighttime now, but I really like the nighttime because it's not actually completely dark. You can very easily do stuff at nighttime. You get a torch, so you get a little flashlight. But I actually don't mind just working by the moonlight. Working by the moonlight, everybody building up and falling down. Anyways, oh yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I really like the nighttime cycle. It doesn't go for too long, and as I said, you can very comfortably work by the light of the pale moonlight. By the glow of the pale moonlight. That sounds much better. Yeah, so essentially all you're doing is doing factory stuff, automating, building, so that you can research. There's a little terminal in here, which is a molecular analysis machine. That's kind of cool, gives you little bits and pieces. I won't go into too much detail there. Suffice to say, you research things that occur naturally on the planet, and then it just tells you what you can do with it. It's really quite simple, but it's a nice little touch. I quite like it. Now these walls, my biggest gripe with these walls are actually with these stairs. The collision is all weird. Now you can see more clearly here in the gap. I don't know why there's a gap here, but anyway. It goes halfway into the wall. You know, I understand why you would do that from a gameplay design and for meshing things together. But if you're gonna allow this, you gotta have some orange stairs to complement the orange walls. It looks fine with the steel walls. Where are they? There they are. These guys, which I can't build because I don't have enough iron plates on me. It looks fine with these. But as soon as you go to the orange, you need a matching orange stair. So, Satisfactory devs, if you're watching this, give me some orange stairs, please, and then I'll be a happy, happy boy. Unfortunately, there are no elevators, so you just got to do circular stairs, and I get dizzy if I do that too much. Now, this was a factory that Ricky, Summer, and myself were building to try out the building strats, essentially. Now, it wasn't too bad. We got stuff done. But it takes a lot of planning, and as you can see, we did not plan very well. We had to do a random foundation out the side here. But these walls that have conveyor belts, that they look like windows, but they're actually conveyor belt connections, that's really cool. I love that. Gives you a lot of options for some creative conveyor belts. And down here is, where is it? Down there as well. This one on the on the outside of the wall there, that's cool as well. I really like those ideas. It gives you so many opportunities for some real winding, almost roller coaster looking conveyor belts. And I'm all for efficiency in your production line. But if you can make it look cool, why not do it with style? You know? Why not? Where's the harm? This is just a giant ramp that we built into the bottom layer of the factory. There's not much here. It's basically a replication of the top floor. Now, we thought two wall heights would be enough. It was not. 3 is where you need to go. 3 is the comfortable level of non-claustrophobia building for machines and whatnot, I think. There are moments of lag, but mostly once the world loads in, it's pretty good. I just had a slight jittery moment, so that's why I thought I'd bring that up. But yeah, you got a lot of entities going around, so it makes sense if it lags out every now and then. But most of the time, it's been really stable, really good, really enjoyable. It's good. Good. Very good. Did I mention good? Yeah, so this is making rotors, I believe. Yep, still making rotors. And that was a part of the final research thing that I needed to do. Well, not the final, but this bloke. First layer of research for this bloke. This is called the space elevator. If I was far enough away, you would notice that this tall spire actually continues infinitely until the render distance finishes. Yeah, see? There you go. All the way up. So it's a literal space elevator. You can't take it all the way up, though. And it is a behemoth of a thing to build. Look how gigantic this thing is. Seriously, it's huge. Now, in order to unlock tier 3 of the research, which is the highest we had access to for this weekend, you have to build this and complete the first step. Now, these are motors. I don't think I've got access to that blueprint, so I didn't bother trying to make anything because it would have been a waste of resources. That's my inventory, by the way. What was I saying? Yeah, that's right. We don't have access to this research. This blueprint, rather. Sorry. And it would have been a waste of materials doing the other stuff, so I didn't bother. I'll get to those blue nodes soon, too. Although I think I'm mostly finished in this area. There's one other common deposit that I need to show, or want to show. So you got your iron, you got your copper, and then over here I got some limestone, and you use that for making concrete. As far as I can remember, concrete is pretty much only used for building walls and foundations and your power poles. Oh, there's a bit of that lag. Yeah, power poles. And possibly these lookout towers. The lookout towers are useful. I'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, so the concrete's not hugely required. As you can clearly tell, I've got about 2,400 in the container, plus 100 in here, plus whatever you can see here. So that is a total of a lot of concrete. Like 20... Oh, I'd go so far as to say at least 2,550 pieces of concrete. or bags of concrete, as it were. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's good. You only need one miner per resource node / area / thing, so that's really useful. I like that. You set it and almost forget it. You can also manually mine ores. If I go over here to show you here, there we go. There's one iron ore manually taken. Something that I did take a little bit to work out. See in brackets there, it says impure. As far as I can tell, we've got impure, normal, and pure. And that all affects your rate of production. Now these miners work at a base of, I think, 60 ores per minute. So 1 a second. However, because this is impure, that's if it was normal. Because this is impure, you go in here and I'm only getting 30 per minute. Which, you know, doesn't sound bad, but you are effectively losing half of your potential production just due to the purity of the metals in the ground. I really like that because it's a massive thing you need to take into account for when you're making your production lines. And I didn't realize that until after I made my production lines. So I'll get to that in a minute too. Just trying to make things more efficient later on. I'll show you that a bit later on. Oh, in a second actually. Yeah, so if it's impure, it looks like you get about half. If it's normal, you get the 1-to-1, 60 and 60. And if it's pure, I think you can get up to 3-to-1 or up to 2-to-1. It could be up to 3-to-1. So you could be increasing to up to 180 per minute. Now, needless to say, that's a lot of ore. So yeah, just to make a remark on some of that inefficiency I had to take care of. You can see here, this is a splitter, which splits into 3 by default. Now, as far as I can tell, if you've only connected 2 of the splitters, then it will split into 50-50. But obviously, if you do all 3, it'll be a third per belt, conveyor belt. Now, I was struggling over there making iron plates because of the fact that I was only getting 30 per minute, and then I was splitting that in half, so I was only getting 15 ores per minute to my smelter. And long story short, it wasn't keeping up with production. So what I tried to do was I split out this main line with the splitter, but then I put 2 lines back into another merger to continue on. So that was 2/3 of this line continuing where it was supposed to be going anyway. Then I took 1 line, so another third of it, all the way over here to try and supplement my bottleneck. Now eventually it caught up and it did really well. As you can see, look at all of this leftover iron. It's lovely. Then over here, got all my iron plates ready to go. It's really nice. And it's just that was how I addressed it. Obviously, it's still not perfectly efficient. Don't get me wrong. It took a while for it to become backed up like that. And it took a couple of supplementary manual additions to the smelter, to the constructor, so it didn't run out in between receiving iron. But I liked that. It got my brain clicking in all sorts of funky ways. And I was really glad that my idea worked, that you could take 2/3 and put 1/3 over here from the original line. So that was cool. And the only reason I could do that is because up that end wasn't using as much iron, so the demand could take 2/3 of the full amount. Oh, God, that was a lot of words. I apologize if it was nonsensical. I do. But you got any questions? Comment below and I'll get back to you. Now, this video has been going entirely too long, but I can't not show you 2 things, and I've just walked away from one of them. Ah, goodness. Bear with me as I make the run back up the ramp. Now this is something that I actually haven't done before, so you might need, again, you might need to bear with me. I might need to make a quick scrounging for materials. But what I'm going to show you, oh yeah, this is Ricky Summers' avatar. It has not moved since he left my game. Now what I'm holding in my hand is actually a self-defense weapon. So currently I'm zapping this avatar. I think if I do it enough, eventually they will fall, maybe. Yep, there we go. Bye bye, ragdoll physics, but then I can revive it. And I think that's meant to be like a heart rate at the bottom there as it starts beeping more. There you go, I brought you back to life. Now this, as I said, is a tool workshop, equipment workshop, sorry. Ah, that's right, I need a bunch of screws and some iron rods. Thankfully, I know exactly where some are. I think that'll be enough. I know I've just stopped production of that line, but that's perfectly fine. I don't think I have enough, do I? No, I need 100 screws. Okay, I'm going to manually make them because it's just going to be, for this particular thing, it's going to be reasonably quick. There we go, 164, that's plenty. Now, one thing I do like as well is if you come in here, if you right click on something, you can put it to your to-do list. It's really, really cool because then it pops up on the side there and it tells you what you need to make that thing, and until you build it, it stays there. I quite like that. Anyways, so rebar gun 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Cool. And spiked rebar. So let's do a bunch of these. I'm assuming this is ammunition for the for the rebar gun. This is a little bit slower than I expected, but that's fine. How many have I got? 19, 20. Sounds like a good amount to me. So this is your inventory. Open with tab. You drag your rebar gun over here. Okay, press R to reload. Ooh. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's a really nice loading animation. I like that. It looks like in the bottom left corner there, you got your loaded ammo and your amount of ammo remaining. Oh, lag. Cool. Alright, nice. I like it. Bit of self-defense. Now, this is a vehicle. Something. Station. Truck station, I think it's called. Yeah, truck station. That's another biomass burner, so you can ignore that. This is one of my favorite things in this game so far. I don't know where my truck is. It looks like he's just left. That's annoying. Yeah, he's just left. So in here, you got fuel. So fuel up your car. You got well, I've got a lot of coal in here, so I'm not going to be running out of coal anytime soon. And I've got unloading ticked. So that means that the truck, when it comes, oh, here it is. Yay! He's on autopilot at the moment. So you can record paths for the truck to go via. I don't know if I can sit in the tractor and have it automatically drive. I think I need to be out of the tractor. I'll find out in a second if it starts moving or not. Yeah, I have a feeling as soon as I get out it'll start moving. Yeah, see the wheels spinning? Now it'll start automatically moving. Yeah, see I took it off its path. So now I have to drive it. So these blue nodes here are the woo, turn harder, turn harder. These blue nodes are what it follows. Now it doesn't, well, it does follow it. Jesus, it's a little bit hard to handle when you first lose it, but when you get it back on track, it's okay. Now there are other vehicles in the game. I just didn't have access to them this weekend. So this is really cool. It allows you to go a little bit quicker. If I see a hostile mob, I might get out and shoot at it with my rebar gun. I have a feeling I need to leave this on its normal path for it to automatically continue along what it was doing. Oh god! Stop! Slow down! There we go. So I just built a little bridge over here. This is a coal generator. I had 2 of them over in the main part of the base. Now I just came here. Actually, if I jump out, it should continue. Yes, it does. Very good. Now, animation obviously doesn't quite line up. That's perfectly fine if you ask me. But what that did, it just took its own inventory from here, well, some of it, and put it in the truck. And now the truck... Really? Is that... Wow. Apparently that's the path that I programmed into it. Reverse straight into the station. Oh, that's hilarious. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, what that did was it loaded as much of its inventory into that truck as it could fit. Now that truck is going to take the same path back to the other station. It's currently stuck, but that's okay, it will get through. It'll take it to the other station, get unloaded, and then come back here. And it will just infinitely continue that path until it runs out of fuel. Now the good thing about these stations is that on this side, on this side is your fuel tank. So if the fuel matches the type of fuel in the truck currently, it will automatically refuel it. Guys, seriously, that is awesome. Now this, as far as I know, is the only way you can automate power production at this stage. There might be other ways, but again, that might be a tiered thing that we didn't have access to this weekend. Whee! I haven't actually walked around this section before, so I'm just going for a bit of a wander. Pretty much exploration is the only thing I haven't done so far this weekend, and I've walked around a little bit, but not a lot. Ah, there's also the C function. If you press C, it scans for an active material. Now, you can change what it scans for. It looks like it's scanning for iron at the moment. It's just you hold C and then you choose what you want to scan for. Pretty cool. So now it's going to scan for limestone, and then it'll, yep, there you go, it pinged. There you go. There's some over there. 400 meters that way. 410 meters that way. Now, I can't see anything to shoot at yet, which is a bit cruddy. That's very poisonous. Don't go near that stuff. Maybe I need to get higher. Yeah, but as I said, about 10 hours to get to this point with some multiplayer help. Oh, on the multiplayer stuff as well, it seemed really stable, really, really cool. There were a couple of funny visual glitches that we experienced, but overall, it was actually really good. Well, I thought it was. I enjoyed myself, that's the main thing. And that's copper, 2 copper ores right there. It looks like at this stage, copper will not be an overly required resource, which is nice. I think iron is definitely going to be your main source of angst for resources in this game. What is that over there? Huh. Right there. Whoa! That went far. And quickly. That was an accident. Gun seems cool though. Interesting. Now, there are a couple of work in progress things as well for this weekend that you just can't do anything with, which again, totally understand. considering it is just a weekend access. They probably didn't want to go too nuts with the amount of keys that they were sending out. Of course, now I need to walk back like a pleb, so that was annoying. Now, something I haven't done is been run over by my truck yet, so that's nice. But now that I've said that, I'll probably get smacked as I come over this hill. At least it's on my compass in the top area of my HUD there, so it's not all bad. Oh, yeah, there are animals as well. There are local species of animal. I don't know exactly what you call them. But there's one sort of furry hog looking thing. There's a big green slug. There's some kind of rat bird that has a flower petal beak. It's a strange looking creature. Where'd those leaves come from? Oh, here we go. Here's one of those whips. Mercer sphere. Cool. There are these funky looking four-legged things. I don't know where they've gone. Where are we in relation to everything else? Okay. Ah, there's one. Here we go. There's one. There he is. Biggest body ever with a very tiny head. See? Look at him. He's weird looking. I just want to see if it gives you anything. If you can kill it. Okay, I did get it. Now he seems to be mostly docile, and when you attack him he just runs away. Whoa! I tried shocking him with my stunning zapper thing, but it didn't really seem to do a lot. Doesn't look like this is going to do much either. Where'd he go? And for the record, I'm only doing this for science. I want to see if he gives us anything. He does get glitched out on the terrain a lot, though. It doesn't look like I'll get anything from this bloke, though. I've now shot him, what, at least 12 times. Doesn't look like I'll get anything. Which is fine. But, you know, it's all for science. And experimentation. I really like that reload animation too. Yeah, okay. Nothing. I just pumped like 18 or 19 bullets into him. And I got absolute diddly squat. Whoa! That would have killed me. Guaranteed. Yeah, there are a couple of other animals around. Furry hogs, but I can't seem to find any of them. There's a red lizard doggo, as it's called. Here's one of the healing things, beryl nuts. And then there's like a hammerhead looking thing as well. But they're dangerous, so I don't really want to go near them. Then there's that guy as well. I was going to build a tower to try and tickle him a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to get there. This video is already 43 minutes long, so I've been talking more than I intended. And that's fine. So I'm actually gonna call it all here, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's kind of a cool view, actually. Oh, of course, as soon as I say that I fall off the goddamn rock. Let me get back up. There we go. That's the green slug thing. I think he's used for later on tiers of research. So yeah. You can also get chainsaws to cut down trees. It's very useful. Don't forget that. That's all I'm going to say now. So I'm gonna leave you all. I don't think I can put anything away. If I just drag that out of my hand, I think it goes away. Yep, there we go. So thank you very much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to clear that as well. Try and get rid of as many things as I can from the screen. basically, this game is not Factorio, so don't come into it thinking it's another Factorio. It's very different. If you like the neatness, the order of Factorio, you're not going to get that here, at least not yet. It takes a lot of effort to line things up, and you need those lookout towers to do it. Before that, you're just going to have a spaghetti mess. You're just going to have to deal with it. Maybe there are other things later on down the game that help with building. So far, the game is actually really enjoyable, especially if you've got another friend who wants to play. You can get up to a lot of shenanigans in it. I know I did with Rick. Really, really fun. Recommend it if you like your thinking games. Because at the end of the day, it's like a big puzzle. It's a production puzzle. That's what it is. So, I would absolutely recommend it. As I said, early access in 8 days, so on the 19th of March. Maybe 7 by the time this goes out. Haven't decided yet. I would definitely recommend it. To put it simply. I can't say anything more than that. I can't say anything more succinct than that. So, if you like Factorio, give it a shot. But don't expect Factorio. That's all I can really say. Alright? So, I'm Stevens. Hopefully you enjoyed my rambling on for 46 minutes. But until next time, which will probably be another Satisfactory video after the 19th of March. Until then, my name's Stevens, signing off. Catch you later, Nick, everyone.